Is it going yet?
Yes.
Hey.
I know.
Hey.
I know. The timing was, it didn't catch half of the thing I was timing. So, what's up?
Hi, YouTube.
Get it, JD. Get it.
Here we
Tubes
are.
videos.
Shriveled Woman Part 3. Perhaps
Of the
la-
one shot.
Of the
Three of
one
the one shot.
perhaps the last part. Are we doing another recap or no? Are
No,
good?
we
Okay.
recapped off camera. Watch
This
the
is get into it.
last session if you
Yeah,
want to
give
know
us those
about it.
clicks, bitches.
Get in it.
Hey, he didn't mean that. We respect women.
We do respect. Well, except for
Yeah.
the dead one.
But
Except for what?
The shriveled women. The
Except for
women
the
who are
shriveled
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not
I'm
gonna
bringing it. I'm bringing it back.
Got it.
we're all nice, but Josie sucks.
But Joe's,
Obviously, Joe sucks.
Yeah.
Gotta say it
Yeah.
once per session if he's not in here.
I like it.
yeah. But yes, so here we are. Things are ramping up. Leads are having been gotten, and the group is on their way to the shack of the original murder victim's ex-wife. Dun, dun, dun.
Bum, bum,
Um,
bum.
So we'll see what we
Around
can
the
find
boat.
there. All right. Do you really want me to share that picture from the owl bear?
Sure.
I don't really feel like we need to, but
Whatever you want.
There's Stevo. I do remember him now.
okay. All right. So you leave the Applegate estate, and as you're walking, as you know, Claude sort of told you how to get there, and as you leave, even though it's not a huge town, as you make a couple turns, you definitely start to see the value of the housing and the buildings around you get worse and worse.
Mm.
And you do realize, like, if you were not the well-equipped, well-endowed adventurers that you are,
Whoa.
just
First
mean
of all,
you're
Stevo's a halfling, so how well
you have
endowed can you be?
a large endowment. Maybe you have people who back you with money and equipment.
Oh.
You could see how some people might feel slightly unnerved to be in this part of the town, especially a stranger. And as you get further down the path, you hear the sound of running water, and other than sewers, of course. And you start to see an open stream kind of through some of the gaps. And Claude told you to follow that, and that Posey shack would sort of be the last one in the row, and it would be right at where the river sort of splits away from the town. And so you see this as you kind of crest up a hill, you see this shack get more and more visible in your eyesight. And it is a dump. Like, it is an absolute dump. And so all you can think of is, if this, how could this be where a woman who is used to where you just left, how could she be living here? And yeah, you're just kind of horrified. Like, even from the exterior, everything is run down about it. So you go up to see it, and there's a broken stoop. There's just a wooden door kind of off its hinges slightly. You do see it has a tiny little backyard that's right kind of abutting the river. But at this point, because basically like medieval times, the river does not smell, like you can smell the waste in the river from here, just because of this kind of where people naturally started using their own dumping ground, right? In those times. So I don't know. You can decide how you go about entering Posey Shack or not entering Posey Shack from here.
As we're walking up, I think I go to the boys. I'm a little tired from talking so much in the last one. And what time of day is it? Is it daytime or nighttime or?
Yeah, it's actually, I would say it's daytime. It's like broad
morning time. Well,
oh no, because you showed up at night.
Sven came to get us at night.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess we never talked about it. Would you have been doing this all each in a row, or do you think like you spent the night at
something? No, we're on it.
No, we're not taking any breaks.
Okay, so it is night. It is nighttime then. The dead of night, the heat of the night.
Okay, so I think I'm going to use the night to my advantage. And if you guys don't mind carrying the load of the conversation, I'm going to sneak around back. Just to see what I can see in case she's trying to hide something.
Just be careful.
Of course. What's the range on the talk to each other in our minds thing?
That's a great question. I don't think it specified.
Regardless, I'm sure the shack is
Yeah.
huge, so as long as it's not like 15 feet.
Communication.
So JD, while he's looking that up, so basically Hazel's plan is to break away from the trio and stealthily sneak around the shack to kind of be in the back. Whether there's an entrance or not, you can let me know. But basically, just either poking through, like sneaking in windows, or not sneaking in, but looking through windows or a back door of some kind. Just a seedy part of town, and we're not sure what we're getting into. And I want to use my stealth skill.
Okay. So go first of all, roll stealth.
All right. If it screws me over, I'm going to be not happy.
As long,
like rub some like leaves on her or something.
yeah, very sneaky.
21. I get
All
a
right.
+7 for stealth, so 21.
All right. Cool. All right. So you are sneaking, and even you are like, I'm being so sneaky right now.
You'll never find me.
Like you,
Where am I?
the night is perfect. The conditions are perfect for you to keep your footfalls silent. It's not wet ground, so it's not squelching or anything, and you don't really hear anything. Well, do a perception check for me, please, as well.
$16.
Okay. So as you're creeping around the corner, you don't hear any signs of movement on the inside of this shack. I mean, I call it a shack, but it calls it a shack, but it talks about a couple different rooms. So we're just gonna say shack, but think it's more than a one room place.
Yeah.
It's very almost like a tiny home though, where you can tell like just by creeping around, like you see one of those quarter windows that's like just about way above your head height, but like eye level of someone who's rather tall. So you see one of those windows, you do see a back door that would have had steps but doesn't really seem like it does anymore. And then you see you're coming around and you see this backyard. The only thing
Uh-oh.
no.
That's not good.
Yep.
There you go.
He gone.
who
You.
Oh, you're back.
the
only thing.
So you can't hear anything on the inside, but you can tell as you creep around just from looking into the one window you can see there is a little bit of like orange, as if there's maybe a candle or some sort of firelight from the inside.
Cool. So I'm just going to hold there in the backyard, kind of by the door, and just wait while they approach.
Okay. And so what are you two going to do?
Well, should we knock?
Oh, yeah.
Servo.
Servo. Not a robot.
Servo.
Beep
That's
or
your name,
Beepo.
right?
Beep.
What's your name again?
Stevo. You were really
Oh,
close.
oh my God. I was so far off. Sivo. It's a little bit on the later side. I think she might be more inclined to see a friendly, upbeat face at her door.
Oh, that's me. And he's gonna run up the steps and just.
And I'm gonna like linger behind and just like be in like open view, just like a pace or two behind, just like kind of standing there looking present.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts.
All right.
Which is like kind of a complicated spell, but for starters, I can sense the presence of thoughts within 30 feet of myself, and I'll know that creatures that can think are there.
Okay.
And Yeah, if there's 1 foot of like lead or something, I can't read through it. But then I'll knock on the door.
Okay. So is this like a soft tap or like a hard rap?
No, like gentle, like a nice doot 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 doot.
Okay. So you kind of do your gentle, respectful knock, and it kind of rings out into the now darkening night, and you don't hear anything.
Do I
There's no-
sense the presence of thoughts within 30 feet,
No,
other than like the 2 obvious people?
no.
I'm gonna send out the telepathic connection thoughts thing that I don't think anyone's here. I'm gonna knock loudly.
There's knock
There's a
knock
light-
again.
Knock
There's a light
louder.
flickering in there. I'm in the back, remember? So there's something or a light of some sort.
I'm gonna knock louder this time.
Okay. So as you walk, sorry, I'm just checking one thing. As you talk, no, you don't walk, you don't talk, you knock. As you knock louder and louder, you realize that like you're starting to knock loudly enough that if there were neighbors, they would probably wake up, and yet there's still no sign of anything stirring on the inside.
And I don't get any thoughts coming from the building.
No.
Yep, definitely empty, fellas. Come on. I mean, fella and lady. Forgive me.
I'm gonna approach Penny, right?
Posey.
Posey, yeah.
Posey. We're coming in. I'm gonna call that out, and then I'm gonna try and just, I guess, open the door.
Okay. This is a weird thing.
I mean, it didn't seem very weird. He just said he was gonna.
No. I'm just thinking of something.
I'm just joking.
I'm trying to enter the building that we came to get into.
Very strange.
I think I might
Yeah.
want to retcon something.
Ooh.
Ooh, she does answer. Cool.
Hello.
Oh, we find the murderer.
Yeah. No. Chris, you as you were like girding yourself to like be like, what the hell? As you're thinking that something is strange, you do realize there is a slight buzzing to your detect thoughts. It's not what you would expect. Like you were expecting to hear fully formulated, and all you can like. So is that what? I guess the way it works. Help me out here. If it was like you were doing detect thoughts and I was thinking, man, I could really go for a sandwich, would you like get my monologue of saying, man, I could really go for a sandwich? Is that how it works?
Not presently. So let me kind of give you.
I need to know like the articulations of this.
There's the sense thoughts first, and then I can also like use an action to
push
read
further.
thoughts.
Okay.
If I want, and then there's a saving throw so attached to
Hey, what about? Is it just humanoids, like people, or could it
it's
be
anything that
animals?
knows a language.
Okay.
Knows a language.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like a dog would obviously know
Sausage.
a language.
Sausages.
Do you see my little guy?
Oh no.
Oh.
That sorry, but you on screen looking down.
Does it look like I'm doing something appropriate?
Do you see my little guy?
Yeah, that was.
It's this
It looks
little
like you're on
guy.
a Zoom meeting.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
I have to say goodnight to Katie real quick. So
Good night, smooches.
Make sure you don't mute so we can hear it.
Oh, please mute. My dog's
right.
had some stuff in his teeth for like a day.
so-
I can't get him to let him.
So
Go
again,
ahead.
so it'd be more like intuition, like you get a feeling. I'm assuming, like,
Is it that tonight is gonna be a good night?
yeah. Did you watch Severance?
No.
Okay, dang it, because I thought maybe how they feel about the numbers could help. Okay, we're just gonna roll with this. You feel like a little bit of a buzzing, and you're like, actually, no, I do sense something, and you realize that feeling is one of anger.
There's something inside that doesn't appreciate me knocking, I think. Just kidding about it being empty.
Was that the second knock, JD, after the louder
Yeah,
knock?
yeah, the louder knock. Let's say that.
Okay.
And so I was not sure if Eric, if you're opening right away now.
I think that would change it. So in my head, I'm going to communicate telepathically, saying, "I'm going to breach. Hazel, sneak in the back if you can manage." And I'm gonna try and just burst through the door.
Okay, so you're gonna breach, and then he's like, "How are
As
you?"
he's doing that, I'm going to try and stealthily open the back.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Okay. So I'm like
on 3 or after 3.
In
Like three-
between 2
And
and 3, but
and
only
who's-
a quarter of the beat afterwards.
But who's
after
counting?
the 2 or after the 3?
After
Or
the
before
2.
the 3.
Two and a half plus a quarter, rounded down.
Heard.
But who's counting?
Oh shit. 1, 2. Okay.
1, 2.
So you're both opening the doors at the same time.
I'm
loudly,
trying-
I'm quietly.
Yeah, I am loudly opening the door, hoping that attention is drawn to me. That way Hazel can sneak
Gotcha.
in the back. Yes.
Gotcha.
And I'm
Okay.
like grasping his leg, like looking behind him.
Right.
Yes, grasping my leg.
Leg.
Okay. So as you burst into the door, it doesn't like it opens most of the way, but it kind of hits something as you get like just about 3/4 of the way.
Yes.
But you realize that like that thing, you pushed it open with enough force that like you hear some stuff fall over. So that's kind of what's happening there. And Brad, are you kind of doing the like slow open?
Yeah. Should I roll like stealth or something? Or
Yeah, try doing a stealth sleight of hand. You're already stealth, so
sleight
I
of
would do a sleight of hand.
hand,
Yeah.
Opening of the door. There it is.
I feel like that's what Baldur's Gate makes you do, and a lot of that finesse type stuff, and just a sleight of hand, right?
Yeah, it's just
So
an
just
8.
a dex roll, I suppose.
8 for sleight of hand. Yeah.
Okay. It's not that you don't bumble, but like you definitely, in the whole debate over who's counting, and then you just hear the door from the front crash open, you're kind of like, oh, and so like it scares you to push a little bit faster. Do a perception check for me.
I like to think it's one of those like heavy door versus light door things where you think it's heavier
Yes,
than
yes.
Yeah.
My perception is 17.
Okay. So as you open the door, you do notice that it was a single candle that is creating that firelight that you saw through the window. You're kind of in this kitchen area that opens up to the back, of course, and you see kind of an open doorway with no door and another room beyond, and you're pretty sure you see the form of someone lying on the floor in there. And so you're like one room away. And now if we go to Sivo and Dramo, the room you're in, why don't you do a perception check for me? You can both do
Are
it.
we in the room?
Are you pushing into the room? It wasn't
my intent was to get an entry into the house.
okay. Yeah, you get in, but you just realized they're like, so just do perception and then
Okay.
I'll tell you. But yeah,
Gotcha. Ooh, that's not great. Perception.
7.
okay.
8.
Okay. And then can you both do an insight check for me real quick?
That's better.
10.
18.
All right. So you realize that like that door opens and hits and you hear stuff fall over. And it's like you've gone into a very poorly curated antique shop. Like there is just shit everywhere.
Okay.
And you realize that you knocked over some like statuettes and like a planter and some weird iron wrought looking design thing. And then you kind of just like are taken aback and you look around like this front room and it looks like the room of a hoarder who has just dumped everything in here.
Okay.
As you look around, you see paintings leaned up against the wall, almost like in stacks. You see a couple of statuaries. You see some jewelry. You do see some nice like dresses kind of hanging up.
Mm-hmm.
And you see some other things hanging on the wall. Now, Sivo, you kind of already have come to a deduction. Or wait, no. Oh, sorry. No, it was you rolled the 18 insight. Yeah. Eric.
I did, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so based on what you learned from Claude about Posey, you kind of see that some of these things have that sort of Applegate estate crest on them, and you realize that this is someone who is just like materialistic beyond and a hoarder, right? They just get anything that looks. You can look around and see there are some very nice and valuable things here, but there's some junk that looks fancy, but is just absolute junk. And this room is almost like unnavigable because of all the stuff.
Okay.
But you do like, and so we're just going to kind of go back. So like, I don't know what you all do from here. So you've entered this room. Brad has entered the other room.
Yeah, if we're caught up in
you can see the firelight flickering as well from the next room over.
Yeah, if we're all on the same time now, I think Hazel would say, like right away, as she creaks / opens the lighter door than she thought it was. I think I see a body in the next room from where I'm at. I'm Boulder approach.
Okay.
And do I see it moving at all, Jay?
No.
Maybe I'll hold for now. If you can.
Yeah. Dremo's gonna like produce his blades and call out and say, Posey, call out if you're here. We're friends. And I'm gonna try and slowly work my way back around towards like that area while like checking corners. And I'm not like rushing in, I'm taking my time just to see if there's anything that's present.
Okay.
But working that way.
Okay.
I think I might bow just because I see a body ready to shoot. Not at time, friends.
Yeah. So you get no response. And actually after all the commotion has kind of died down and you looked around the room, Sivo, that buzzing that you had in your brain, in your mind is gone now.
And I didn't see anything.
No.
I cast see invisibility. Just kidding.
I'm gonna keep pressing in. If nothing's stopping me, if I don't see anything, I'm just gonna keep moving my way towards like where Hazel was saying that there was fire in a body.
Okay. Fire in a body.
Fire in a body.
I'll also move in with them.
Yep. You get to a room that looks like the only lived in room, really, from your side. There's a cot to one side. There's a tiny table with one rough hewn chair sitting there. And then there's the candle is sort of flickering above it. And do
I see him?
Yeah, you kind of like, you're at like 6 o'clock, they're at 9 o'clock sort of entrance, if you will.
So I was like crouching down, so like stand up a little more and start walking, looking side to side.
Yeah. You see in the kitchen, you don't see really anything, but you do see some objects sort of stacked on the counters, and some tools kind of next to it. But yeah, so you see at the table, handle, you see a dinner, what looks like a dinner plate in that chair, and then sort of the body of what you're now seeing as a human woman sort of fallen out of the chair.
Shit.
next to that.
I'm going to investigate the body and see if I can ascertain, you know, when it died and maybe a cause of death.
While
Okay.
he's doing that, Gremo, do you want to clear the rest of the rooms with me? Or
Do you have this here? I want to take a peek outside. See if there's anyone who's came or went from the building at all.
yeah, I'll clear inside. You sweep outside.
Let me know if you find anything. And I'll turn and kind of go outside and try and do an investigation around the perimeter to see if I can see like tracks or like comings and goings.
Okay, who
Same.
shall we follow first?
Same on the inside. Let Chris go first, I think.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Okay. So as you get closer to this woman's body who's on their side, you don't really disturb the scene, but you try and like gently lay her on her back if you can. Her body's intact. But you notice that the whole body seems to be covered in a clear liquid that looks like water in the firelight.
Is it similar to the watery goo that we saw prior in the other body?
It is exactly like the way that you found Boren's body. And to confirm your suspicion, you sort of reach out and gingerly put your finger sort of on the cheek to like see if it is water, but nope, it comes away as a sort of viscousy dripping substance. And then as you further your investigation, just like Boren, you realize this person has drowned.
Okay. Is there any is there any of this goo around, like in the periphery, or is it all just near and on the body?
So why don't you, and actually Dramo, why don't you do your investigation check as well?
I'm not rolling online ever again. 8.
And actually, you know, Hazel, since you're investigating inside, you do one as well.
21 for my outside investigation.
Okay.
10 for my inside investigation.
Okay. I will. Well, I'll see what you do. But Dramo, you see something that catches your curiosity. Actually, when I started this, didn't I? No.
No, you
broke
cut
that
out. We have
out,
no
yeah.
idea what you asked.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay.
When I started this, did I? That's where
I kind of forget. Did I start off in like a rainy, stormy setting?
I don't remember weather.
You
I
said it
remember
was
being
like a gloomy place, like
Okay.
overcast. Yeah,
I thought it was gloomy and overcast. I just want to make sure I didn't, because I want it to stay consistent. So you notice something interesting, that although it was gloomy and it seemed like a storm could break at any moment, you know that it didn't. It was just a dark, sort of sunless day. And as you look out in the backyard, you see a trail of like what looks like water on the grass. And as you follow it, you see it actually goes up the side of the house and into the window.
Interesting.
into the house we're
From the
in.
island?
Oh, I mean, I guess I don't know that.
And there's no island.
I'm just joking. Sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
gonna telepathically go like, there's a trail leading from the water to the house.
I don't remember, but
And I'll let you advantage roll your investigates again, please. The
Oh.
other two of you on the
Oh, the
inside.
other two. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Roll it one more time.
there we go. Natural 20.
12.
So
As
that
you
mu-
do that, and he says to the window, to the wall,
Well,
yeah, you kind of look up at the window, especially Hazel, like you have to look up at the window. And just that action, you see that. So the body is in front of, let's say the body's in the center of the room, and there's the water on the body. And if that's like the center of a circle, you look out, I don't know, your radius, like you're looking out towards the window. But as you look up, you see that there's also a trail of what looks like wetness from the window up over the ceiling and straight above where the body is.
Whoa.
Oh, it went in the window, went up on the ceiling, and then plopped down on her or something. Is what we're
If that's what the conclusion you're coming to.
the theory.
Oh, and then Chris, you asked about if you could ascertain. This happened very recently, like within the last 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay. And I'm sorry, the like this goo creature went up into the window or it came out. Like, what I'm trying to figure out is if that's how it left, or did
You can't see
Atmo,
anything
whatever.
other than the sort of like body straight up damp streak, if you will, to the window and out. Like you can't see anything else on the floor.
Okay.
So that's your only.
Could have went in and out the same.
he's gonna yell, "Come team, the game's afoot," and run out and like try and figure out. Like, I want to kind of trace this goo in the direction it went. I want to try and track it.
I'm
Okay.
like 5 feet away from you. I'm like, I'm right here.
Right, let's see.
Ooh, I can track it. Goo is my favorite terrain.
Squish, 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 squish.
Wish.
So all of you do then what survival is tracking, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Real quick, can I look at her, like before we track, look at her fingers, see if one is cracked, like Boren's?
Yeah, and you cannot see anything of that sort on her hands.
Ooh, that's a 17 for survival.
Can I
Survival.
roll at advantage because I got a natural 20 on my investigation?
No.
Then I rolled a 7.
Okay.
13.
Okay. You notice that the trail goes toward where the river, like towards the river, but you kind of lose it there because there are basically two options: a small branch of the river towards the sewer, or the river that ran along the back of the dwellings that you kind of were on the other side of when you came to the shack.
What
All right.
side is the window on?
It goes out towards this area, like
Well-
the backyard and backyards in front of the river.
Can you mark on the map? Like the window
Okay.
on this side is what I'm looking at.
All right, sorry. I was thinking more. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't see that's how you positioned yourself. Yeah. So imagine not all. Oh, wrong one. I would just say imagine that this is not all just rocky. This was just the best picture I could find. Imagine that maybe this backyard goes
Okay.
like out to that other rock.
Okay. Yep.
And so you see it, the window, like where Hazel is, like let's say door is here, windows right next to it. And so you
this
see,
is where we notice the slime.
yeah, and it kind of goes out here, and this is actually like a bigger area of grassiness, and then it kind of like there's the river, and it can eventually splits off into two directions: one towards the sewer, one just continuing to be a river.
I see. Okay. I'm going to head that way then and try and ascertain where the freshest movement has been to.
Do a dex save for me.
Just a dex save?
Yep.
Oh, that's really good for me. 15.
Okay. As you're kind of all rushing and you go to like track this, you almost like stumble over yourself, but you catch yourself and you realize that you just stumbled over a hole, or what is a like freshly dug and loosely packed hole in the ground. And then you do a perception check for me.
This is wild.
Do we see him doing that?
Yeah.
Can we also roll perception?
24.
Sure. Yeah. So you see that there are like a couple holes like dug around the yard, and you just see a shovel sort of laying out in there.
So it's either poop or the murder weapon. Let's dig.
I'm going to call out and be like, there's been a lot of fresh holes being dug out this way. I don't want to lose track of whatever we're pursuing, but this is definitely something to look into. And I'm
Indeed.
gonna keep going to try and just stay hot on the trail of whatever the fuck this like goo monster thing is.
Okay.
I'll hang back, watching him by the hole, and see if he gets too far, I'll follow, but I'll hang back for a moment.
Okay. I mean, you already rolled your survival checks, so I'll say you get out to the river and you can't quite tell. Like, this trail kind of goes to the water, but from there it looks like it led to the water.
It entered the water, and that's all.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you're kind of like, oh shoot, what do I do?
I'm just gonna pause and like hunch down,
Okay.
like almost like put my hands on the bank and just kind of like get a sense for things. And I want to stop and look for any kind of movement anywhere in my periphery to see if I can see it like coming out to get air or like any kind of like drastic movement that will dictate my attention towards that spot. So I'm gonna pause there and just kind of hold for now.
Okay.
Do you see any?
Trying to think if I need to make you roll perception again. Yeah, go ahead and roll perception again.
Just Eric.
That's 18.
You can't see anything
Mother.
out of the ordinary.
All right, I'm just gonna hold. I'm gonna hold and see what I'm gonna wait for the other guys to kind of move up and do their thing, but I'm still just like keeping a loose eye on
I'm gonna
everything.
look for the freshest hole and see if I can dig up.
Okay,
What
the
else?
freshest hole, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I said several. You notice that there are 3 here.
Okay.
So I guess, yeah, go ahead and, well, you don't really have to roll anything.
Roll a dig check for me.
Yeah, I
I was
know.
just gonna
Yeah, I was waiting for you to like say something. It's like, oh wait,
I pick up the shovel and start digging.
sorry, you can't dig. You don't have a shovel in your inventory.
I
Oh,
right click on the mound
Freaking
that
know
is
it.
glowing.
Yeah.
I know
Side note, I
I know I
found-
failed it, so I know it's around here somewhere.
Side note, I found one through a survival check in Baldur's Gate in the Zentrum hideout, and then when I click on it, it's like your character just goes, "That doesn't look like it's worth checking into." I'm like, then why did it pop up after a survival check?
Oh,
That's weird.
Yeah, I think maybe it just bugged. Okay, so it's loose enough that you can dig in with your hands. It's not really well packed in, and that's why Dramo almost tripped. And as you're digging your hand in, and then you feel something really solid, and as you start to feel around it, you feel that it's some sort of square shape.
All right. I try to uncover it without pulling it out.
Okay. So as you sort
See
of
if I
do
can
your
see what it is. Yeah.
and you start to see it, you see the top like of a really dark, almost metal looking block.
All right, I pull it out. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And
Raising.
as you
Sivo.
Huh?
Come over here, please. Or can you dig this other hole over here?
Okay.
Whichever one.
okay.
I'll come over. I'll just go over there.
All right.
All right.
So do you want this? So you look at the freshest one, as you said?
Yeah, the freshest one I dig up and I pull. Once I see that it's a block of whatever, I pull it out to see and try and look at it, read it, whatever.
Okay. You see on one side, it just says, like, roughly chiseled in on one side, mighty whore. Like
Okay.
HOAR, the god whore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I was like,
Sorry.
No, that's what the guy.
Damn.
It's like,
Yeah.
is this a riddle? Who's the mightiest whore that we've met?
So
this
you
person's
see
horny as hell.
Yeah.
you see one side that says mighty whore, the god
Yep.
whore.
Yep.
And then you kind of turn it over, and on the other side, you see chiseled in that Peter Applegate dies in misery. Or Claude Applegate. I'm sorry, that Claude Applegate dies in misery.
I'm gonna dig up the next hole.
Okay.
We might have to get back to the Applegate estate if this is for Claude. You might be the next victim.
Okay.
Is
And
this
then
mentally or verbally?
I say it mentally because I know you're not right near us.
okay. And then so Sivo, as you pick up the other block, let's just see
Quickly. And I stuffed that one in my pack. And I start working on the third one.
Okay, so you see
Cool.
one, it
Try and
says
get 'em as quick as we can.
Mighty Whore on one side, and on the other side, it says that Evelyn Applegate shall feel betrayed.
And that's the
She's
victim,
dead.
right?
The shriveled woman.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
the woman.
And then you get the third one, same thing, Mighty Whore, and on the other side, that Peter Applegate's heart should break.
And he's the other victim, right?
He's the other
Yeah.
guy that died.
All right, I think we need to head to the third person.
Grandma, I think we need to make sure Claude isn't dead.
Let's go as fast as we can.
All right. So we sprint back to the estate.
Okay.
Yeah,
dramatic music. Yes, I love
Keep going.
As you run up to the estate, the gate is already partway open, and I guess you just crashed through the front door.
Loud.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not
Okay.
pausing for anything.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
crashing through the front door. As you do, you hear commotion in the room that you were talking with Claude.
Yep. Sprint.
Okay.
Mr. Applegate.
And as you burst through, you're met with quite a strange but horrifying sort of picture. I guess I don't have it up right now, but you see Farah holding her big axe,
Yep.
and you see Cordelia cowering in the corner, and then you see Claude Applegate in the center, like where her axe is brandished, with some sort of ooze monster all on top of him.
Oh shit.
And I have a picture of this thing. I'm not gonna tell you what it's called just now.
A monster.
And
Claude
where is it?
Applegate, covered by goo monster,
I-
about to be.
This
dead.
is so it's gonna be big, but this is kind of what you see, but think of it enveloping
Oh.
him rather than coming out of his chest. It's like he's inside of this thing. So you see like his face as well as its face is over it.
All right, you gotta share screen now. We can't just be like seeing this and
Yeah,
not have
yeah,
it on
yeah.
recording. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Can
that is crazy.
I do something right away after we look at it?
Yeah, sure.
Talk about it.
I want to let me do it. It just takes a minute.
If it's too big of an issue, it's not a huge deal. But that's wild looking. Yeah.
Yeah, last time I just
I
took
can
a
share.
second for it to. Yeah, if you
Okay.
can, go ahead.
I'm presenting.
Present arms.
Oh,
Nice.
Zoom out a little. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so you see that, like, and then as you get closer, you see Thera is like gasping as if, and you see her bleeding, and she's holding up her axe, and you can tell she doesn't want to swing because this thing is on top of the person that she's sworn to protect.
I see.
Okay, so she's looking like she wants to be aggressive towards it. That's
Yes.
obvious.
Yes.
Hazel, first things first, is going to cast Hunter's Mark on it.
Are we in initiative versus a surprise round? What's going on exactly?
That's a good question.
That's why I said I want to do that first right away.
Yeah, why don't we
Because
roll
if it gets
for,
away, I can track it with Hunter's Mark.
roll for initiative here.
Okay.
19.
All right.
Oh, that's dog shit.
Oh man, 25 plus 7.
I'm glad you guys got good rolls. 7. No, I'm sorry, 12.
So
10.
all right.
Sorry.
Sivo 19,
12.
Hazel 27,
25 for me.
25. And what'd you say, Eric?
10.
Okay.
Yes.
And that, why don't we? I do have to check. I don't have the stat blocks right there. Sorry, this is the most tense moment, and I'm like, oh, I can't find stuff.
There's a monster.
Weird, it keeps
On
getting
the
smaller
Apple
and
Gate.
smaller, but I'm like doing
Why
the
doesn't
exact
it
same
There's a
back
monster.
and forth.
Applegate Estate.
Yeah, I don't have a stat block for.
Look at that fucking face, dude.
What do you think he sounds like?
All right,
That's
we're
fine.
just gonna. Yeah, for some reason I don't have that one page that I would like to have right now.
Ooh, that's not good.
I
You gotta have the thing you need to have.
no, I
You-
have this. I have the stat block for this thing. I'll just roll
Oh.
its initiative. I just don't. I was thinking Thera that I should probably do.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Thera, and then this thing. What is it? All right. So I guess Hazel, you get the first shot, and I'll maybe that will make sense that you do Hunter's Mark right away as well.
Yeah. So I think we were probably right next to each other, Dremo and I, as we're sprinting. I imagine Sivo's shorter legs had us a little behind us. So seeing this, I already know the first thing I want to do, which is cast Hunter's Mark on it. Because if it's as slippery as it was before, I can track it if need be, if it gets away.
Yeah.
And then it's enveloping him, but is parts of it sticking out? Like, is it like skin tight on him, or is it like
It is pretty skin tight. Like you can see him kind of like he's choking on like a plastic bag trying to claw at his face. But you can see, just like that picture, you can see a face over his face. Like this thing is kind of like you can see that it is a separate entity at the same time.
could I angle myself to shoot so where it would like shoot like across him to try and hit it?
You aren't sure. Why don't you do a history check for me?
History. It rolled around and it's a 6.
Yeah, you don't know. You've never seen anything like this before.
Want to shoot it. Because of the way that it's positioned, I'm going to take out my scimitar instead and try and like scrape down him without hitting him too much to see if I can like scrape this thing off of him like with some force, if that's possible.
So you are attacking essentially.
I'm attacking the creature at an angle to which I'm not trying to hit him too much. Yes.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Is that okay?
Go ahead and roll.
All right. Scimitar attack roll. 25. Natural 20, actually.
Nice. All right. So let me just count something up.
I'm doing this on D&D Beyond too, so.
Cool.
Why does it say you rolled a natural 1?
It doesn't.
I know it's a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, hey, man.
Okay. You hit.
All right. Oh my gosh, a 2 and a 1, but I get so that's 6 damage plus, so that's 6 I assume slashing. Yeah, it's got to be
Okay.
it. Plus 2 force damage from the hunter's mark.
So 8 total.
8 total. 6 slashing, 2 force.
Okay. As you hit, even though you're trying to be full of finesse, you see Claude kind of get like the force of the hit inside as well. Oh, actually, yeah. And even though you're hitting this liquid form, it's almost like it unforms where you hit with the scimitar slightly, and you see the blade slice partially into his flesh.
Oh,
And it kind of turns its head on top of his, like, at you, and now it sees you, and it kind of just like lets out this weird shriek, like shriek at you.
Be careful when attacking. It doesn't seem like it works. But that's all I have. And yeah, I mean that's my turn. If I feel like I can move back away without it attacking me, I will, but if not, I'll stay right there.
God.
Yeah, you can move away.
All right. So I just back up, trying to think about what I can do. I'm a shoot at things kind of person, so
Okay. Now I have to, Chris, I might need, well, any of you might know. If you are grappling, does that take up your action?
So if you are currently grappled, you don't have to use your action to grapple again.
Okay.
Like if you have another creature grappled, you don't have to use your action to grapple.
but
Okay.
can you use an action or will
Like,
that
so if
remove
this
the
thing
grapple?
is grappling him technically, like, could it reach out and attack?
Sure.
Okay.
and still be grappling the thing?
Yeah.
That's
Well, I
what you're
mean,
asking, right?
So like when a player character does that, you need to have a hand free to attack, and it has to be like with a one-handed weapon.
Right.
But like this is an amorphous blob, so I think it could probably just blob it.
Yeah.
Still
I will
do it and just yeah.
Yeah, so I will say it tries to like reform and swing at you. Because you're moving out of range, though, I'm going to give it disadvantage. How about that?
Cool.
Because it does go next.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, Gina, damn.
I thought my 19 was gonna be good.
15, which
That's
yeah,
my
roller.
armor class.
Yeah.
You got me.
All right. Where is this? Man, I wish I had the music. Be so
Bam,
much
bam,
better.
bam, 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 bam,
You
bam,
take
bam.
5 bludgeoning damage. Oh, wait. No, that wasn't even disadvantage. I said I gave it disadvantage. It misses. Woohoo. I gave it disadvantage because you moved away. You thought you were going to get hit real hard and you duck at the last minute and you don't. Then now it is Sivo's turn.
Okay, so I want to try and like cast a cantrip on it.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Mind Sliver on it.
All right.
There we go.
So it's a DC 14 Intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
Gotta be dumb. It's gotta be.
It's got to be dumb. It's got to be dumb.
It's gotta be
Gotta be
dumb.
dumb.
It's gonna be.
Lucky for you, I feel like that was kind of cocked, so I'm it got caught on another, like it hit the edge
Sure.
of the okay, it fails. And then so how much is it?
2 damage.
Okay.
It's 2 damage of the, I think, psychic variety.
Psychic variety.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it'll take a a hit to its next saving throw.
Okay.
And that's it for old Sivo.
So same thing now, like it reaches out and then you do the mind sliver and it sort of makes it even louder, like shriek.
I gave it a headache.
Yeah. Okay. So that means we are now. So that was Hazel Sivo, the thing. Demo, it's your turn.
How far away am I from this situation?
I mean, you're in the doorway. Let's say it's like 10 feet away, 15 feet away, sort of.
Cool. I'm going to. Do I get the feeling like I can get behind this thing or flank this thing and still attack its face with like a weapon? Or do I feel like I have a better chance of going like head on and trying to target the face of the monster directly? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, from what you notice already, it's kind of like reforming and tracking things, so you think it's not going to matter, right? Like it's not just like its face is kind of appearing like
how
kind of T1000 sort of situation.
Yes. Where is Thera? Is she like close by to this situation? You said that she had her axe raised, ready to attack, but was kind of holding off, right?
Yeah, she's right nearby.
Okay. If that's the case, I'm going to try and get close and engage and get to the point where I'm kind of like flanking on one side close to Thera.
Okay.
And I'm going to use my psychic daggers to lash out at this thing.
Okay. And so that's just an attack roll?
It's just an attack roll, +5 to hit, and it deals psychic damage.
Okay.
Ooh, that's good. That's a 20.
All right. That hits.
Excellent. So that's my first attack. That's not good. That's 4 psychic damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action to conjure a second psychic blade in my hand and do the same thing.
And so these are physical.
No, they're like mental projections of a dagger that summon into my hand when I make the strike.
Okay.
So they're not physical
Right.
daggers. They're like mental daggers that dissipate after I'm done attacking.
Okay.
I just want to make sure it's the same. Yep, +5 to hit, same as the one. Okay, cool.
Okay.
That's not going to hit. That's a 7.
Yeah, that does not hit.
Okay. Do I notice anything as I'm like striking or making contact?
Even though, so both you and Sivo, even though you're doing like these sort of magical forms of damage, you still see the body of Claude sort of buckling under. You don't know if it's from you or if it's from. How about you also do a history check for me? I had Brad do it when he asked a question like this. So
that's not going to be anything. That's a 2 again. So plus history can't be that great. It's a 5. Yeah.
So you can't tell if he's suffocating or if you're speeding up his expiration, if you will, at this point, based on
I rolled a 13 on history.
Same.
Can't tell.
You know of things like this is not like something that you exactly have ever. You've heard of like ooze monsters, like the blocks, but this seems a little bit too sentient, too focused, too responsive to be the sort of mindless thing that you know of as a normal ooze monster. And so you don't really know how it operates at this point. It's not dissolving him like ooze monsters normally do. So you're kind of at a loss as well. Are you moving any more, Demo, or are you kind of just holding there?
I'm just going to hold there. I'm trying to like think about in real time what the hell's going on.
Okay. So now it is Claude's turn. And all right, you don't know how, but whether it was your distraction, he somehow, as he's like clutching, and it's reforming, he somehow is able to like pull himself out from this creature.
Nice.
And it lands sort of like, yeah, he's just, and he backs up, but he falls down on his back, gasping, like not sure, almost looking like disoriented, like he just came into consciousness almost. And the creature is now sort of flung to the corner.
Nice.
He rolled so high. I mean, for just like a normal NPC. Okay. So now it is Thera's turn, and as soon as that thing's off of him, off of her boss, to try and take a swing at it. And you don't know if it's like she's so angry, but she just, you know, those things on the ground, she just whiffs and hits the ground. Her axe almost buries itself in the floor.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, it is embarrassing. And yep, that's it. Okay. So now it goes back up to Hazel.
Perfect, because Hazel is pissed. She's like, I shoot things and they die. And so she takes out her longbow. Dreadful Strike. It doesn't say. I don't know when I need to announce that I'm using it. It doesn't say on a hit. It says when you attack a creature and hit it with a weapon. Okay, so I guess I can wait until I hit. But I'm gonna pull out my longbow. And I'm like whispering something, and it like the arrow almost like crackles with like a cyanic energy
Cool.
as I shoot at the thing.
Nice.
All right. So go ahead.
17 to hit.
Okay, you hit.
So that's 1d8 plus 3, so 6 piercing damage plus, how do I roll this? 2d6 psychic damage is 7 psychic damage.
All right,
So-
nice.
We're all doing psychic damage.
Yeah, you're all.
I
doing-
don't know.
Hopefully it's
That's
not
the only
immune.
magical damage I have.
Yeah. Why won't it let me zoom in on this?
So
Okay,
do I
cool. So you
notice-
hit this thing, and it like almost like pools around the arrow, but you hear that like ungodly shriek that you heard before.
Mm.
Can I deduce, or can I like insight or whatever to see if it hurt it? Any part of it got hurt by anything I did?
Like, I guess, yeah, the crackling kind of runs through a portion of
Okay. yeah.
the ooze, like conducted by the water. Not really conducted, but it almost looks like it ripples through, and you see it kind of recoil in those spots, like the tide ebbing backwards, and so you know that this thing definitely is,
Being affected by it.
yeah, yep.
All right, cool. And then I didn't roll Hunter's Mark. Damage.
Oh, go ahead and do that.
Yeah. It's 4 force damage. So add 4 force if that does anything.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
All right, now that's it for me.
All right.
I'll look. Sorry, Hazel will look over at the maid girl. What's her name?
I don't remember.
Oh, Cordelia.
Thank
Cordelia.
you.
And just look at her to see what she's doing. Is she okay? Just
She is, you think that she is like in shock. She's just
She's
fate
just
in her hands.
so I'll position myself. Well, I'll position myself in front of her
Okay.
since she's kind of in the corner, so still at range, and then I'll end my turn.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I just had to check something. So I would say That doesn't make sense. All right. Sorry, there are just some conflicting things in this story that I'm trying to reconcile. Like, let's reconcile, or just comments about this creature. So I would say Thera, her axe hits right next to it. It gets hit by the creature, gets hit by the arrow, but then it kind of what does that do? It actually attempts to
Say that again.
it shoots
Yeah.
up to the ceiling,
Fucker.
like almost like the speed of a spider, and
Terrifying.
it goes back after Claude and sort of launches itself down at him. Actually, I'm gonna go with my gut because that's kind of what it says. I'm gonna say it's going after you, Hazel. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hit it last.
Yeah. So it is going to try and grapple you.
All right. Don't think I'm good at that.
And so you have to succeed. You have to do a DC 13 Dex saving throw.
Oh, actually, I am good at that. 15.
Down from the ceiling, but you're a hunter. You have this thing in your sights, and you're used to these erratic movements of creatures that you're trying, especially monsters that you're attacking. So you kind of dodge right out of the way as it lands next to you, but then it does sort of swing out at you again.
Gross.
So it is gonna take a slam attack at you. That is gonna hit. Not quite a critical hit, but it does hit. It's close.
All right.
Yep. Where is the one I need? And that does 8 bludgeoning damage to you.
All right.
And so, yeah, like it kind of like landed in a puddle from the ground and then kind of formed back up into this face. And then an arm forms out and just sort of a really wicked right hook and like smashes you. And so now we have
Ouch and gross.
Sivo, it's your turn.
All right, so I am going to reach out with my mind once again and cast Tasha's Mind Whip.
Okay.
So it's another DC 14 intelligence
Whip?
saving throw.
Okay. And then, now it's a saving throw. And you said, I don't think we did any saving throws. So...
Yeah, you'll subtract a 1d4 from the save.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's a critical fail already.
Hey,
so...
yo! All right, so I'll roll damage and then talk about the rest of it.
Tell me
Okay.
more. Tell me more.
That's all right. 13 psychic damage.
Dang.
That is all
And
right.
then, yeah.
The thing lets out a shriek that like shakes the glassware in this room as this happens.
So it can't take a reaction until the end of its next turn. And on its next turn, it can choose to either move, take an action, or a bonus action, but only gets one of the 3.
Oh, wow. Nice.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool, and I appreciate that because I'm definitely running away.
Okay.
But I'm kind of gonna like keep my distance a little bit too. I don't want to get too close to it
Yeah.
because I'm squishy.
Right. I hate to do this. I have to go get water real quick.
You're good. You've been saying words. I'm sure you're parched.
Yeah. So let me just go
Just
get a
like
refill on
the
some water.
monster.
Almost the exact opposite though, because he's made of like water goo.
Water goo. Goo of the water.
I didn't know what to expect, but
Yeah, not this.
the goo monster being there was not it.
Thanks, Yoda. Not sure what expected I was.
That was pretty good.
That was great.
Oh,
That was a good impersonation.
that was a good impersonation.
Were you
Get
just
to the chopper.
impersonating Arnold?
Yeah.
Because that would be the best. Get down!
What if we all talk like this for the rest of the session?
Love it. This is what my barbarian tutorial sounded like. Damn it, that was a real missed opportunity.
I am a rogue. I take my knives and I slash a team.
I have some questions for you. I want them answered immediately.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
That's great.
I love
When I was
me.
in college, some friends made a soundboard of Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes,
Stop.
and
That's
he
great.
like called me. It was just be like,
Yes.
no, and then he was just like use the soundboard to talk to me.
That's pretty
and
good.
that was back in the days before, like, you know, like he called my landline.
Yeah.
We
didn't
have-
right.
We didn't have like caller ID or anything, so it was like, am I talking to Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Hello, Chris. I'm calling to tell you that I hate you and I hope you die.
I
don't even know you, Arnold. That's so mean.
But I love you, Arnold. You're my favorite action hero.
Yep.
This doesn't explain all the deaths, by the way.
It only explains most of them. 2 of the 4.
You gotta imagine that the priest probably killed her,
Yeah, agree.
and then
Okay, sorry.
for some reason the fucking liquid monster decided to kill him. Like that seems weird, but
Or just Posey herself is dead by liquid monster, and she was the one writing on those blocks. That doesn't make sense either.
no, it doesn't.
I'm here.
Welcome in.
Chris and
missed
Eric
our
were doing.
Oh,
Arnold.
yeah.
We were doing normal stuff. We were doing totally
We were
normal
normal
stuff that you would not be surprised
Nothing.
by.
Never mind.
Okay, so it was Sivo, it was your turn last. So that means now it's Demo's turn.
Okay, so for my turn, I'm going to go and attack the creature.
Cool.
This is my voice now. I'm Austrian. Put another shrimp on the barbie.
Wrong. That's
Yeah,
That was-
Austrian. Yeah, Austrian, like next to Germany. They have a lot of shrimp there, famously. Son of a fucking. Does a 10 hit?
Nope.
I didn't think so. Offhand. Haha. That will hit. That's like a 24.
That will hit.
Okay, that's max damage for +3.
So 7.
8. That's not max damage, but it's 8.
Okay.
8 psychic damage to the floaty, gooey mind thing.
Cool.
And I'm just right next to it. I'm just psychically stabbing it as much as I can.
Okay. It is Claude's turn. He scrabbles backwards into the corner.
Cloud, get back. You're too close.
Farah like wrenches her axe from the ground and like runs and tries to just sort of thing.
Mm.
wow.
Yeah, she hits for sure.
The show.
Shao for shao. And then what is that damage?
Hopefully, it doesn't split into multiple.
Right? Okay. I'm not, yeah. So you see, like, it's funny you make that joke. It doesn't split. But you see as her axe comes down, she does cleave a chunk of it off, weirdly
Okay.
enough. And it is the creature's turn.
Is it my turn?
Oh yeah, you're top of the order, sorry.
So does it look like a slashing attack actually worked on this thing?
It met resistance, but the force, like you could just see the cords in her muscles as she like did. It was like someone trying to like do the chain to pull a car sort of thing, right? Like it is almost inhuman how much she strained for this swing. And you imagine that, wow, this chick is, I shouldn't say chick. There's a reason that she was hired as a bodyguard.
Got it. I'm afraid to use up my last bit of magical attacks, so I'll pull my scimitar back out and try and see what she did and do the same thing, just swing down on it before I run away. So
okay, go ahead
I'll
and swing.
scimitar attack. It is an 18 to hit.
That hits.
That is 9 slashing damage and 3 force damage from Hunter's Mark. So 12.
How do you think it would look for you to kill this thing?
So, after it hits Hazel, she reels back a little bit, thinks about running, sees beefy lady lay into this thing, and I'm like, oh well, I might as well try that too. Puts the bow back on her back, takes out her scimitar again, and tries to just slash through it.
Mhm.
And she like two hands it too, to see if the force will help, and just hits a dead center, and then it kind of like explode goos.
Okay.
Lifeless.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happens. And then what sort of the thing is like the goo kind of just sinks down to become normal water looking. And Chris, how long does detect thoughts stay up?
1 minute.
Okay, then never mind.
I mean, 100 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are out of combat. This thing has now been killed.
We solved your water monster puzzle.
The psychic damage helped. It had resistance to everything else. So I was
And
like,
we all
shit,
do
that's not on
psychic
the,
damage.
yeah, because it wasn't on the list. It's like, well, shit, I have to do that. That's supposed to be a hard fight because basically it has resistance to everything, and then
Yeah.
it has nothing.
And all
to
we do
psychic.
is psychic damage.
Yeah, so I was like,
Yeah.
oh, there that, and then I was gonna fudge it. I was like, I can't fudge it, but Thera critted on that attack, so I was like, I can't not have her crit. So she
Yeah.
made up for the
Yeah.
fact that it has resistance by doing the extra damage.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I'm sorry if that didn't feel like a very climactic fight, but I
No,
wasn't
it's
going to
fine.
cheat the numbers.
It is what it is, man.
It's like Grimlock round 2, just
Yeah.
dead immediately.
Right. Oh, that was great.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
I was a ranger for that too.
Yeah. Okay, so the Hazel, you've killed the creature. Thera is in this like rage, and she just takes the axe and starts like smashing it into the ground, where now it just looks like water. And Claude is like, you, thank you for coming. How did you know? And at those words, actually, Thera like holds her axe and glares and goes, "How did you know?" And looks a little aggressive.
Is there a table in the room we were in?
It's like a long dining room table, and you're both on the same side of it, so you can't
All
like
right.
put it between the two of
I
you.
think
duck under as a halfling. but-
as Hazel's getting like set up at the table and kind of pulling out the blocks, I'm sure like showing them like what's going to happen. I'm going to stand up and turn to them and say, we were able to uncover that there's some messaging from, what's her fucking name again?
Posey.
Posey. Posey was communicating with some priests of Hor to exact her revenge on people around the town. We found it just in time. Your name is inscribed on one of these. It's how they communicate.
And I slam that. Well, when she like aggressively comes at me, I slam that one down first and point to it as you're explaining that, and then I lay out the other ones a little nicer.
You're lucky that we found it when we did.
Just and Thera just kind of like looks at you and looks down at you. Hazel looks at the block and then and sort of puts the axe back down. Like is more at ease. Goes and Claude's just like, I was in here talking with these two, and I don't know what happened. Next thing I knew, it was like something was smothering me, and I heard muffled yelling, and I couldn't breathe. And then I thought I saw your forms, but I also started feeling the blows you landed on the creature. And I tried crying for help, but I don't think you heard anything.
No, sorry about that. Yeah, we were trying to kill it. Good job getting it off you, by the way.
That was
Yeah,
the
that was
hardest
helpful.
thing I've ever done. It was just a DC 13 dex save,
And-
but I
oh,
gave him no bonus, and he rolled a 16. So
What? Oop, you cut out for a second. Can we reread what it says on each one of them?
yeah, so each one says to Mighty Whore, and it says that Evelyn may feel betrayed, that Peter
Son
may
of-
have his heart broken,
Yeah.
and that Claude dies in misery.
Drowning is misery, I feel like.
And we found these at whose house?
Posey's
Posey.
Posey.
backyard.
Do we
Where-
know where Posey is?
She's dead.
That was the body in the. Yeah, I guess you didn't really know that, like, but she's the body. In,
It's pretty obvious,
Okay.
I feel like, right? Young
Yeah.
woman in the house of Posey that is dead.
Yeah, and
that was sitting at the table.
So is
Well-
everything like tied up then?
No,
We still not know who killed the shriveled woman.
correct.
Or Boren.
I mean,
right, 'cause she is. Her body was different than the other two.
Yeah.
And Boren got suffocated, and we don't know why,
Right.
yeah,
by this creature. Is someone controlling this creature? Because only Claude and this guy and Boren actually got.
there's still
Actor
more
killed
to
by
be
this.
solved here. This doesn't make a lot of sense.
yeah, I mean the question is who had access to the backyard? Because it sounds like it would just be Posey. But if Posey,
Anyone
Died.
really?
well, yeah, but like I don't know, my neighbors would notice if I went and dug a hole in their yard, or three of them.
Would
Well-
you notice in like the middle of the night though?
My dog would freak out.
In medieval fantasy land,
in the ghetto.
with no
of the
like
city.
floodlights or like
I'll
I don't
just
know.
say,
I'm a
um,
light sleeper, so I think like there's a good shot. And my
regardless,
dog would
somebody
freak out.
this thing killed Posey, and we don't know why. at the
I
very
would
least.
say there is a chance.
That what?
Now that you've encountered this creature, go ahead and roll an Arcana check. Each of you. can
Someone
roll.
might be controlling this.
How am I bad at Arcana? What am I doing? Athletics. Okay, that doesn't make sense. I think I missed up there, but whatever.
13.
14.
18. I
Alright.
still get a +4.
So yeah, just tell me the highest is basically where I'm at.
18.
And then Eric, what'd you roll?
14.
13.
Yeah, you're still kind of stumped.
Damn.
Things that, like, again, the fact that you really have no idea what this type of creature is messing with you. Like, you don't understand as you're rationalizing in real time. Like, you just don't understand the mechanics. Like, it doesn't fit together in any way that you can think of.
Even with my super awesome 18.
That's what I
Uh-huh.
was going to say. Dang.
I'll No, that's
Okay.
something I'll tell you at the end.
At this point, I
There's
think
a bonus
that-
you get for every specific clue that you uncovered.
Gotcha.
Can we go back to Posey's house?
I think at this point, Dravo is going to turn to everyone and say, at this point, I think it's best that everyone who is in the household goes to the temple and is under watch by the paladins. And we'll wrap up our investigation once we know that you're secure in that spot. This is no longer safe in this house.
And Claude's like, "Oh, I don't know if there's room, but I would be more than happy. I would love to have more guards around me." You and Thera's right there, like, oh, well, he goes, I go. But I'm not praying to any god.
It's just about
Same
safety.
here.
That doesn't matter. Let's go.
Is other girl going too? Sorry.
Do a perception check.
Where's that Adon bitch too?
No, she's gone, guys. I was standing kind of over her.
Fucking knew it.
18.
I fucking knew it.
18?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see her trying to sneak out.
Oh shit!
Hazel grabs her.
Okay. She's like, oh, get your hands off me.
Where were you going?
I'm not going to no temple of gods.
Aren't you in love with one of the guards up
Love
here?
doesn't need a god.
Where is he? Is he still here?
No, he went back to the temple, like back when we first
Did he?
talked.
Okay.
And so Claude chimes up. Actually, that's we were in here discussing how I disapproved after talking with you about Evelyn's story. I keep a better clamp on my household, and I was telling Cordelia that I didn't think it was appropriate for Adon to be spending so much time in the manor.
Cordelia, you should take a seat. And I say telepathically, you got any more detect magics or detect thoughts in there, Sivo?
I kind of ran out of detect thought juice.
Damn it.
Sit right there. We're gonna take a long rest, and then we're
Right.
gonna come
Yeah,
back.
we'll see you guys in the morning.
Okay, so I can reassign my psychic whispers.
Oh wait.
She sits down in a like huff, but you can see her kind of like shift, like looking a little nervous.
I can use arcane recovery and get a second level spell slot, so I can get.
I mean, we can try and talk to her first. And this is all in our heads.
Mhm.
I can talk to her first.
It's right in front of her.
Right. I just think maybe that could help if we run into a roadblock of sorts. Where was Boren's symbol of horror?
It was a tattoo like on his chest.
Well, I don't want to.
Ace Ventura style.
Yeah.
He found Captain Winky.
Yeah. Hazel just stares at her.
She gets more uncomfortable, but she kind of like sticks her chin out to like.
Why, when there's danger afoot and your boss just got attacked by a crazy liquid monster and there's been 3 murders, why would you try and sneak out of the room?
Y'all talking about putting us under lock and key. I'm not going anywhere.
You don't want to be closer to Adon?
I don't even know if it dawns on tonight.
All right. I mean, I want to insight check her, but
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Oh, it rolled. It was a 17, but now it's an 11.
A little bit of mixed signals. Like, yeah, you can tell like she doesn't even how she's squirming now. Like you can tell she doesn't like being under scrutiny and being sort of lorded over. The Adon part, you're kind of like, I think she might be telling the truth about that. Like,
Do
I'm at a loss, guys. This is very suspicious. I just don't know how to press her.
I have an idea. So I think seeing all this going down and kind of feeling like there needs to be more urgency in what's going on right now,
Mm-hmm.
I think Dreamo's going to get everyone else organized to leave the estate. And once they're ready to like head to the temple, I'm going to have them kind of move towards the entryway, walk up to I'm sorry, this girl's name.
I know, I can't remember it either. Cordelia.
Cordelia. And I'm gonna verbally out loud say, I'm gonna take them to the temple to get them secured. In the meantime, and I'm going to like flicker my psionic energy into my hand and produce like a psychic blade and just keep it like close enough to her skin where she can feel like the crackling energy of the blade against her arm. And then I'm gonna turn to these two and say out loud, talk with this one, see what you can learn. Meet us at the temple as soon as you can. Do whatever you need to get her to talk. And then I'm gonna cut off the energy and turn and walk out with the rest of the group to go to the temple.
I'll let you guys decide how this plays out dice-wise. Do we want to do an intimidation roll right now, or do we want to do...
That's what I was trying to do, is like intimidate her for them and then leave so I can escort the other group back to the temple. That was my intent, was to intimidate her, basically, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess roll an intimidation.
Cool. Oh god, I got a -1 to intimidation. That's fucking terrible. We're not gonna address that. It's bad. It's bad. It's not a natural 1, but it is bad.
See, like as you do the crackling energy, she goes, like you think it's supposed to be. Yeah,
but doesn't that suck when you have something lined up where it seems so cool?
It was so good.
Dude, I was like, holy shit. Like if there were no dice involved, that would have cracked the nut completely for sure.
Yeah.
Oh
well.
Yeah.
Oh well.
And then she's like, she kind of like looks you up and down and says, maybe I got the wrong man.
Can I backhand her? Is that too much?
So I mean, it's your call.
He's not really a nice guy or a good guy, and it's not like a sexist thing. It's just like a disrespect thing. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just unarmed strike, just backhand her. Do I need to roll?
Go ahead and roll at advantage.
Okay.
I hope you miss.
That would be embarrassing. No, that's gonna hit. It's a 19 plus, I'm sure, a good amount. +5.
Jeez.
24.
And accidentally killed her with a backhand.
I hope not.
Roll a 1d4 for me.
It's a 1.
What's your strength?
-1.
You gotta be kidding me.
You have -1 strength?
I'm a fucking rogue. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that makes you die.
So is that 0 damage? And she just
no, I think
I
it's a minimum of 1. I think, yeah.
Yeah. So you see her like she's taken aback, and she's like, "What the fuck?"
He's not even paying attention to her at this point. He's literally just like walking out the door now.
And she kind of like composes herself. Well, let's actually see what she does. I'm making you roll. Let's see if she kind of composes herself surprisingly and like laughs as you walk away.
I'm just gonna keep walking at that point. I'm over it. Yeah.
I cut her eye line from him.
Cut her eye out.
I slash her eyes
out.
Accelerated quickly.
Hey, you smacked her out, you saw Spammer. No, like the vibes are real off, right? So Hazel kind of bend like squats down a little bit, so because she's sitting.
Yeah.
And I tell her, I look as close as I can to her, and I'm like, "Did you know, Posey?"
And she kind of like that laugh that she sent after demo kind of turns into a look. She's like, everyone knows that foolish bitch.
So we went to her shack, home, if you want to call it that. That's where we just came from, and
No, did you see our collection of valuables?
oh, you've been there?
No, everyone knows about her though.
She's dead, and I look at her to see her reaction.
She's kind of like, really? Well, I guess no one will be missing her now, eh?
Oh, wow. You know anything about that creature? About
That bloody thing? No.
all right. Well, can I insight again? I don't know how many I have to say. Do it
Yeah.
after every thing I say.
Yeah, go ahead. Again, it's because I would say new line of questioning, basically.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so that's okay.
That's a 17.
You actually think that she doesn't know anything about this monster.
Zivo, in my head.
Huh?
Investigate her.
Oh, okay. I will
No,
investigate.
do detective stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're the detective.
Oh,
Yeah.
my class. Yeah, yeah.
So I'll go ahead and cast detect thoughts again,
Okay.
and then I'm going to like really key in on her. And before I even like ask anything, I want to know like what she's kind of thinking at this exact moment.
So again, is it more like impulses and feelings that I would describe to you?
Let me read you what it says.
Yeah, I'm
So-
sorry. I just want to make
You're
sure
okay.
I'm not like, yeah,
You don't want to give me too much. I get it.
yeah, or not enough. Time.
When I use the read thoughts part of it,
Yeah.
I target a creature within 30 feet of me, and I detect what. Hold on. You learn what is on the most. You learn what is most on the target's mind right now. If the target doesn't know any languages, blah blah. Okay, I can use an action on my turn to probe deeper into the target's mind, and the target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, I discern the target's reasoning, emotions, and something that looms large in its mind, such as worry, love, or hate. On a successful save, the spell ends. Either way, the target knows I'm probing it.
Okay. So
you-
right now, you just know the thing that is foremost in their mind right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Foremost in her mind as you even go to question her. Other than the little bit of like condescending humor. Like
Oh,
she wants to get out of here. Did I cut?
A little bit.
Yeah,
you
you
might
did.
have cut off.
I said, other than like a little bit of condescending humor, you're getting the sense that she's impatient. Like she wants to get to something.
I'm going to try and empathize with her a little and say, well, I can see that you are uncomfortable and are eager to get out of here, and we'll let you out as soon as we can. But we do have.
Uncomfortable. Your mate just fucking backhanded me. Of course.
Yes, that was rude. That was rude. But could you tell us what you know of these murders? And I'm like gonna kind of probe into her mind.
And this is when she would know that you're doing
This is when she would know that I'm doing it.
after
and
the
has
fact.
to do a
Correct.
wisdom save, right?
Yeah, it'll be a wisdom save.
Okay. She rolled a 19.
Balls. Disadvantage?
No.
The backhand?
Backhander for disadvantage.
Because
right.
it was a bad intimidate roll. No. Like,
Damn it.
The spell is no longer active.
you see that like she kind of like furrows her brows, like what the hell, like she feels something in her head. She doesn't say anything about it necessarily. But she's like, all I know is I have this job because of this murders. I don't know anything else about these murders.
What do you mean you have these jobs or this job because of the murders?
Posey leaves. Evelyn's gone. Here I am.
Now, where are you going? Why are you so impatient? Where were you Where were you trying to go?
You don't know that.
No, he said it. Chris said
Oh,
it when he said he was
okay.
trying to empathize with him. He's like, "I see you're in a hurry."
Oh, okay. I just
So
want
I
to get
picked
out.
up on that because I knew what he was doing. Is my point.
Well, speaking of murders, we have gone from a little bit of Cockney to a different kind of Cockney. It's kind of funny. We have one bloke with his heart ripped out here. We have another one getting suffocated. Of course, I want to get out of here.
Well, you're safe with us now, and we want to make this community a safer place by solving these murders and finding the one who is responsible.
I think you're just like me. You're just passing through.
Well, that
Just
and
a
we
little
were,
bit of that coin, and then you're gone, eh?
well, if we don't solve the crimes, we don't get the fines.
So if you good attempt.
Is that your company slogan?
Since you want to get out of here, but you don't want to go to the temple, where do you want to go? This is your place of work and where you sleep, right?
It's my business.
But you don't want to go to the temple where it's even safer?
For those blowhards, no. Adonis told me all about them.
Where do you want to go?
I want to go home.
Well, let's go together. All three of us.
Brad, you're killing me.
Should I backhand her? Sorry, I don't know what to
She's like, my parents won't take kindly to that.
All right, let's just go to the temple. And I kind of grab her and like we start walking.
We can go to her home if that's where you would go.
No, I wanted to see if like she's going somewhere. I don't think she's going home. I wanted to try and have her lead us there. But let's just take her to the temple with everyone else. That's where we're going anyway. There's got to be something else there. So
It's like, I'd rather not.
oh, I'm sorry. So this is no longer an option for you.
What are you gonna do?
Much
Knock
worse
me
than
out
my
like your
partner
friend? And drag me like a cave woman?
did. And I not strong either.
Backhander, backhander,
All the
backhander.
I dexterously
dexterously backhander.
kind of grab her neck, like from behind, and like try and lead her out.
She's like, all right, enough. I'll go with you to the bloody temple.
All right, and I'll let her walk in front of me.
Okay.
She I'm a
doesn't-
pretty good shot, by the way, and I like tap my bow as we start going.
Oh, lucky you.
Shit.
I know, man.
This is the personality that I wanted to have the last time, but I couldn't quite
No,
find
yeah.
good questions to have come through. So, all right. So you head back to the temple.
Yeah, we kind of catch up probably with
Probably.
Dremo
Yep.
and others.
And as we're walking, I want to just like I want to play good cop a little. And I want to say, so you're just passing through town then?
Yeah, what of it?
Just curious. Like, where are you coming from?
Here and there,
Here and there. I've been there,
but not here.
but not here.
Yeah. That's some good
When did you arrive in town?
Oh, maybe a couple months ago.
Oh, so you're not just passing through. You've decided to stick around for a little while.
Yeah, you got to get some money before you can make your way somewhere else.
That's fair. How have you been making your money? What do you?
Would
what
you
have
like
been
to
doing
know,
for a living?
big boy?
Well, I mean, I've got a few coin.
And then she kind of like her smile turns into like a little bit of a sneer. She's like, Maid,
Aha, of course.
and not that kind.
Not that kind. Of course. That's what I was thinking. My room could use some tidying.
You're not from here. You don't got a room I'm gonna clean.
Yeah, we got a room at the hotel. All right, I don't really have any other questions.
All right.
When we get to the temple,
Yeah.
Dreamo's going to try and set up an audience with the main dude.
Sten?
Yep, thank you. I need to get my notebook out. Got my notes.
Well, Vincent's like the head of the paladins, but Sten was the guy.
No,
that, like,
Sten.
got
Oh,
us-
yeah, I want to talk to Sten. Yeah, fuck Vincent.
Exactly.
I don't remember the voices for my.
That's okay. That's okay.
characters.
Make
So
new
we're
ones.
gonna. So the idea, I think that what he's going to do is he's going to convince them that this chick needs to get tossed in a cell by herself for the time being. I wanted to intimidate her a little bit more, and
Intimidate her more. Eh?
no, not like. And then get them up to speed on everything we found so far. These clerics of horror are after Mr. Appleby, and there's still some like actors afoot.
Applegate. Did you mean to say
Nope,
Applegate?
Applebee's. He's Applebee's now. Yep,
Okay. All right.
he's eating good in the neighborhood, baby.
So when we walk in, is Sten and everyone there, or is
That's a good question.
say before we even get there, is are they all alive?
So yeah, you walk in, and you see, like, I mean, so Sten and Vincent are kind of like right within eye shot as you walk in, and they seem surprised to see you. As you troop in, Farah and Claude, and then later, of course,
Cordelia, that bitch.
yeah. They get kind of stern looking, and you kind of tell, well, we're gonna fast forward. You tell them that you think that she should be in the cell, blah 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 blah.
Yep.
And
Posey's dead. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
yeah, and they seem alarmed by that. But they seem relieved when you say that you've killed this creature that was attacking Claude. And then Sten, and even though you're talking to Sten, Vincent kind of overhears, and he's like, I forget even what's Vincent's or what their Vincent's.
It's okay. Just go ahead and say what they say.
Vincent's like, oh, you want her in a cell by herself? Well, lucky for her, we already have her boyfriend in there.
Really, Don?
Whoa, what happened?
It looked like he was planning to desert.
Like strawberry shortcake or
Yes. He's
nice.
gonna
Tiramisu,
cheesecake his
probably.
way out of here. We saw his bags packed with some valuables from around the temple.
That little shit.
And we threw him in there right away. So we would be more than happy to put her in there.
Can we?
Wait. Maybe not a good idea if they're in cahoots.
We only have one cell.
They're not going anywhere. If anything, they're going to just die like the others. And I look at her when I say that.
My thoughts
then-
exactly.
Can we make sure? Let's see if she has anything on her first. Can we like search her? I guess.
I'm-
Your paws off me. But
I'm looking at you for that. I'm not searching her.
I guess I'm the designated person for this. All right.
are you
does she
just
have
going to
anything
be
on her?
like gentle, or are you going to be rough about it? Like,
Wow.
I'm not
Okay.
going to like.
Whoa.
No,
yeah,
I'm
not
just
gonna make anything
looking.
weird of it.
Obviously, weapons or anything that she might have on her. It sounds like her boyfriend stole a bunch of stuff and was ready to go, and she was in a hurry, so she might have had put stuff on herself. Basically, just seeing what else she might have on her.
You find do an investigation check.
Oh, come on. 13.
Okay. She has a not very well hidden like ankle stiletto sheath that she has a little like dagger in. And she's like, as you said, they're murders. What do you? I need protection. But then you kind of ruffle around in like her pockets, and she at first kind of acts like coquettishly about it, and then resistant. But then, like, you do find a couple like jewel inlaid rings in her pockets and stuff.
These yours, Claude? And you're
He like holds out his hand. He's like, "Oh yeah, yes, Claudia. Why do you have Claudia? My name is Claude. Your name is Claudia. Cordelia, what is the meaning of this?" And she just looks down. So she goes, "What do you think, you stingy geezer? I need more money than what you pay me."
Wow.
I think she's planning on. That's 2 maids you've had that have stole from you. I think she's planning to desert with a Don. It sounds like, and have dessert maybe. But yeah. Anything else of note?
No. And I'm just gonna do this. So she's like, "All right, you cracked the fucking case, brilliant taste workers. We're just gonna use this opportunity to steal some things and get out before we could get caught."
But did you get caught? Or did your partner?
Sounds like it, eh?
So you think that the person that you were stealing from may be the culprit here?
Culprit of what?
No,
Murder.
she was using the murders as a distraction for her and Adon to run away together and steal stuff from people.
Ding 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 ding.
Oh, okay.
Let's throw in the cell. I think we need to talk to Vincent and Sten, and whatever his name is, Brock.
Wait, so what was that goo thing? How are you controlling it? Tell us more.
What? I wasn't controlling that thing.
You weren't?
No.
She has nothing to do with the murders. Well, maybe, but we don't know that yet.
I think I'm lost.
You're the investigator.
I know, but like
This
all
is
of
the
last
Columbo
session is
moment.
just totally
Demoted.
No, I know. I'm messing with you.
Demoted.
No.
Sorry, I decided to do some Scooby-Doo exposition just because
Yeah,
I looked
no,
on at the clock
yeah.
and I was like,
No, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I don't know. I take out the Anyway, are we throwing her in jail with her boyfriend for now?
Yeah, we might as well. That's fine.
Do we want to just lay out everything? Like rather than role play through it, do we want to lay out?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's like accelerate this a little bit.
Yeah, I pull out the bars that have the writing on it and be like, Warren obviously did this for the God of Horror or whatever. And then these were buried in Posey's backyard. We assume she did it to get revenge on the whole family, but we don't know how the shriveled woman is shriveled, and we don't know why Posey was killed by this creature. So someone's controlling this creature probably, and it's dead, but we don't know who was controlling it, basically.
Maybe there's
Right?
another
Anything
brick
else?
with your name on it somewhere. But who would have made that brick?
Yeah,
What
so
happened to the shriveled lady?
Yeah. So if we, and this makes me think now, they're super slow games, and I think, well, but if you play any of the Sherlock Holmes games, they're kind of fun in this way because you gather the clues and then you have to decide like what's the answer, and it changes things based on it. It's kind of cool. But they're wonky and slow video games. So, but independent company. Anyways, so we have victims. Boom, 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 boom. We are first, if we're going in chronological order, the first victim was Peter, who had his heart cut out.
Right.
And Evelyn was found over him.
Correct.
Right.
And
then
he was on a brick, right?
yeah,
he was on
His
was
name
like
was on a brick.
heartbreak.
Yes.
all 3 of the family members were. Yeah.
right.
Right.
He was on, he was written on a brick. And then technically the next victim would be Georgina, who had her tongue cut out. And then Boren and Evelyn are in prison. And the next victims were Boren and Evelyn. Boren had the sort of water over his body, suffocated. Evelyn was the shriveled woman, moisture sucked from the body. And then the next victim was Posey, same way as Boren, water over body. And then you were in the process of seeing Claude almost becoming the next victim.
Right.
And so you had bricks for Claude and Posey and
No,
or not
Claude.
Posey, Claude and Peter and Evelyn.
So we don't
Oh.
even know. Not only do we not have a motive for the shriveled woman, we don't have like a murder weapon even.
So
We got
murder
nothing.
weapon.
Yeah.
Boren and Posey were killed by this water monster. We don't have bricks or reasons why that could have been.
Okay, right.
And
Did they just didn't know anything for Vincent? Or Vincent did it, right? He was gone. He was by himself for an hour.
yeah,
So
so
that's the only other clue we have.
all they can
Mhm.
give you is see, this is so weird. Yeah, like I don't want to keep making you do the same roll. So you tell them what you've learned, and they go, "Oh, in our Temple of Tyr, we have some things on the like what we've heard in the past of the priest of war."
That's our main clue is this monster thing.
Yeah,
Whatever you say, Jay.
yeah, yeah. See, this is where it gets tricky. Let me just check one more thing. Actually, I just want to see.
Let us know. I mean, obviously it's getting late and we wanted to wrap this up. So we would still probably want to search Posey's house and go to the inn, search where Boren was staying.
I want to go see Georgette again now that we know that there's more activity from this god of horror and she's directly involved with it because she was attacked by a priest of horror. Like, I want to go back to talk to her at this point too.
Yeah. I don't know. This thing is not really helping me out from here. Basically, it's like they should have what they need to know to make the connections they need to make.
They should have enough?
The PCs.
Okay. Are they going to fill us in, or do we need to like...
No, like you guys saying like the players should have what the things they need to know to make the connections they need to make.
At
What?
this point already?
Yeah.
I'm not
But we know absolutely nothing about the shriveled woman.
well,
Like we must have missed something.
there was a brick for her.
Yeah, but other than that, we got nothing.
Okay.
We don't have like cause of death. Well, we have like she was.
Boren had a
or
little
something.
cut on his finger too, so he could have done it and then while he was getting suffocated or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so do you want to go look at the body of Boren again?
I think we do.
Okay.
Mhm.
Was that a hint?
Let's do it.
You did
We're doing it.
originally say you wanted to go back and look at the cut, but then like urgency
We
kind
did.
of
We
took you
did.
forward and forward
Yeah,
and
right.
forward. So
So I had it written down. There was a cut on his finger that we need to look at.
remember after session 1,
Yes.
just talking with you at like the moments before we started in session 2, you're like, yeah, that was something I wanted to go. I realized we should go back to look at.
Okay, let's say we go back to the prison and we're gonna look over the bodies again, specifically Boren to start.
Okay. Wait, there's that one. Okay, so you kind of relook at the wound, and I don't see, to me, like this doesn't make sense, but it says it's a seemingly purposeful but jagged cut on his right index fingertip. I'm like, how can you tell that just by looking at it? But I'm not a forensic investigator. That's Sivo.
Yeah, Steven got that. He knows that.
Yeah. So why don't you do an investigation check?
And we're like all crowding around doing this together because we're all like
Yes.
at this point. 16 from me.
Something that's really good. 26.
Damn.
Okay.
The murder is in his finger.
So you
It was
notice
us the whole time.
that the jaggedness doesn't really match what you would expect from like a weapon, and then you kind of like look, and you realize that it's like a bite mark. And so you think that it may actually be Attack on Titan style, like self-inflicted bite mark.
Hmm. It still doesn't make sense. So he bites himself to do something. Okay, I think I got it.
What is it? You look like
Okay,
you-
okay. So
I thought you were gonna disconnect right after you said that.
no,
I
I
know.
got it. Okay, I think I got it. So who was the first victim? It was the husband, right? The
Yes.
husband had his heart carved out. He was the first victim.
Yeah.
The second victims were the two people in the prison.
Yeah. Like other than
Georgina.
the Smith getting her tongue cut out.
Okay, cool. So I think what happened was the water monster is like the spirit of the shriveled woman out of her body. Like the water from her body came out and formed this water monster. So Boren tried to kill her, or did kill her, or did something to try and like attack her, to like get back at her from like what she did. Maybe like the attack on Georgina was a ruse to get him in prison so he could actually like punish her.
Boom. Yeah.
Got inside, did whatever he did to like initiate his attack on her. She dies, but in the process, the magic gets all screwed up, and her moisture from her body becomes this like vengeful spirit. She kills him, escapes through the tunnel at the lake, and now she's going through and trying to get revenge on the people who she thinks is responsible for it,
Ah.
Which is
everyone who
Posey.
we just it was everybody for the most part. It was just a coincidence that
But why her stepfather? Because he didn't stand up for her.
he was the one who caught her. He's the one who found
Yeah.
her in the act, and he's like, "Oh my god, you killed my son."
So, but who actually killed him? I'm wondering. Is the only,
That I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe
I mean-
maybe the priest actually. If she buried a lead block that said, "I want him to like break his heart," the priest might have shown up, killed him to start with.
Mm,
Also, it does a double whammy because then it frames her too.
yeah, right.
So she's going to suffer from it as well. Then he attacks Georgina either because someone said something about her, it was like another block, or it was just a convenience excuse to get thrown in jail with her. Killed her,
Yeah.
magic went wrong. Maybe it was like a punishment from horror because she wasn't actually a part of it. I don't know. There's probably like one or two things
No,
I'm
yeah,
missing
I
there,
see.
but I think that's where it's at.
You're connecting
Yeah.
dots.
You've basically solved it, I'll just say.
Yeah. Good job.
That was
Nice
great.
work, Eric.
So yeah, the idea is that, and I've added some things and maybe it created more tangle than it needed to. The idea is that Posey had the block to say like Peter and Evelyn.
Yeah.
And the priest shows up, kills Peter to frame Evelyn, and like the double whammy.
Yeah.
What you didn't get to, for some reason, resistance of the Smith, is that there's another villager that you could have found because they felt wronged by the Smith and they also did a lead block. So that was like a vacancy piece.
That's the
And so the priest was doing his dues and like he got caught in the middle of that one. Right. And
he
so
just got
he
put
was
in jail anyway.
right. And so he was in prison with Evelyn. And the way the story goes is that he didn't realize that, which doesn't make sense. She wasn't in the room when he killed Peter, so he doesn't realize that she's the woman that he framed. And she talks about all these people who wronged her, and he says, "Hey, I have a ritual that can help you, like with this."
Get back.
And
it'll go after
her-
people who wronged you, but he's the one who wronged her.
Yes. So she turns into what is called a slithering tracker.
Amazing.
And they systematically go through and kill everyone that they see as a thing needed to like exact vengeance upon. And then after that, they just kill indiscriminately.
Cool.
Where did that? So then, where did the father's block come from? Was it still posy?
That was one I made up.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
figured because you lost the trail completely, and I was
that's
like,
the
this
way to
isn't
go.
really giving you any clues because it's like, oh, if they don't go to the
Right.
manor, then that person's gonna die. I'm like, you have 4 places to go to, and you're gonna go all in the wrong order, and
And
everyone's
why
gonna
would we
die.
go back to the place we just were at too?
I know. What we wouldn't double back there until the very
No,
end.
there's
Not at all.
0% reason I would ever go back there.
And that's exactly. I was like, this is kind of dumb that it just expects you to know to go back there. So I was like, well, either they'll track through the sewers, or I'll make them be able to find a hole, and I'll put this block in there.
Wow.
Yeah. I also originally I created Adon and Cordelia to have a red herring.
Yeah,
Um,
that was great. That was great.
Like at first I didn't. Adon was just a name I threw out there for another guard.
I did notice. I did
Yeah, I was
notice.
like,
Adon.
Adon.
Adon. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
call him Adon. Why
and then
not?
I was like, well, this will be good because I don't want it to be railroaded. So
Yeah.
I was like, they're gonna get there, and if they push enough, they might see there's something suspicious. And then like they're really just these 2 grifters that are trying to cash in on stuff.
Yeah, no, that was great.
And then the other I'm trying to think of originally in the investigation of the bodies, you could have, if you followed this bite mark, you could have seen faint traces of a blood circle, like a ritual circle, but it was a high roll.
Okay.
And then Brad, you just like rolled to see something about the sewer grate, but there was a different thing you could have looked at to see if to think about this thing could have gone into the sewers. And in the sewers, you would have fought mimics, so it's probably better you didn't go to the sewers.
I wanted to fight something.
I know. I was like, there are no
Yeah.
fights in this. You could have fought the 2 guards in the smith. You could have fought Thera if you got aggressive with Claude,
Yeah.
and then there are mimics in the sewer, and then the slithering tracker. And that was it.
Jump back into the game.
Yeah.
So, Sten, that's pretty much what happened. So we'll take the rest of our money. please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, I don't know if that's an anticlimactic ending, but
No,
No, I
Aaron got it.
fucking
That
that
was
was
good. You
awesome.
got there.
that was such a great Eureka moment, Eric, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
put it all together. I was like trying so hard not to like let my
Well, JD, when you
smile
said
spread.
they should be able to figure it out from here, I'm like, okay, so we have all the information mainly. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
The
it
only-
basically is like
Oh shit.
oh, we lost.
priest. Hey.
Say that
We
one more
lost
time.
you for a second, Jay.
It basically said the 6 main clues. They are Posey prays. Boran is a priest of horror. Boran killed Peter. You didn't figure that one out. The monster is an ooze creature, and Evelyn is the monster. Well, like that's the last.
Yeah.
All the liquid was sucked out of her body.
That
Yeah.
was the only thing I needed, was that the monster is an ooze monster,
Yeah.
and she didn't have any.
Yeah.
Liquid. But if any of us would have rolled history on it, we would have got that right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. It starts at a 30,
oh,
and then every one of those
Oh,
it goes down based on every clue.
and every one of those clues gives you a +3 to your roll. So even
Oh,
your
okay.
18, you needed one more clue for your 18 to like get to the mark, but you didn't have one more.
Right.
At that
Right.
point, you didn't have one more clue.
Got it.
What so did Evelyn not realize that the ritual was going to kill her?
Yeah, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
He
so
had
he,
only.
tricked her?
It's like a secret thing of horror ritual, and he didn't even know that it would do what it does.
Right.
Oh,
It's kind of like a,
Cool.
like I don't know, the Rite of Thorns in Baldur's Gate sort of thing. Like they all know of it, but they don't exactly know what it looks like.
Wow, dude, that was fun.
That was cool. Yeah.
Okay,
good.
I'm glad. I was worried that it wasn't fun, so I'm glad.
No. I mean, I think that the payoff of actually figuring it out at the end obviously helps.
Right.
But yeah, that was cool.
No, it was super fun. I was just like, oh, we're running out of. It's getting late. I want to make sure we finish. So
Yeah.
that's the thing I was
That's-
trying to get to.
That's why I pushed too.
Yeah, good,
especially because basically you were like, I want to interrogate all the people that JD created. I was like, no,
Yeah.
this is gonna
Yeah.
go nowhere.
They're just assholes.
Right.
Just
yeah.
They're all just jerks.
Yeah.
All
right.
right, cool. Well, that was thank you for putting that together, Jay. That was fun.
yeah, that was great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Jay.
That was great. Sorry, I feel like I was kind of useless. like being useless in the second session and then not really remembering anything. But
Dude, you're good.
happens.
You're good.
No,
It all
it's
worked
fine.
out.
It happens.
It was
to
a
the best
good-
of us.
Real life example of how when multiple people are investigating something, they could be confusion, and we talked it out, so it was great.
Yeah.
We,
Good.
we were all the investigators in the end.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I hope I didn't take out of the satisfaction by speeding
Not-
it up at the
I don't
end.
know.
Not in
No, it
the
worked. No, it
least.
went-
That was a lot of fun. That was
Works
very cool.
perfectly.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you again, Jay.
Yeah.
We'll
Thank
cut the
you.
recording here, and we'll
Yeah.
see you guys on our next adventure, whatever that might be.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you.